Hey guys, Ronnie here. Today we're doing a quick video. I will do my best to keep this thing under 10 minutes because I know sometimes I have the tendency to go overboard. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, my name is Ronnie. I'm doing a excuse me, a video about copywriting today because I've received a lot of emails from people all over the place asking me, do I have a template? How do I write my sales copy? And I've come to realize it's a lot of people who are struggling writing their sales copy because if you're writing one sales copy for a particular product for yourself, then you may swing it. But as time goes by, you realize you're gonna need a lot more content for your copies, and you either keep paying, which adds up, or you learn the skills. In my case, I decided to learn the skill, and now that I've learned the skill, I decided to share it because I firmly believe if you come to the conclusion where you've learned a particular skill, then you should share it. So this is exactly what I'm doing here. So right now what I'm going to do two things. The first thing, I'm going to scroll down and to show you guys a table of content within this particular ebook, and I will scroll down as slow as I possibly can so I do not get you guys dizzy. So bear with me here as I'm scrolling down to the table of content. Okay. Anyway, here we go. The table of content, the first chapter, we talked about why the top is the most important aspect. In regarding to that, I'm going to go in through the first chapter with you guys. I would not go in the whole chapter, but I will show you at least the first chapter why we cover this in great details. In chapter 2, we talked about writing a powerful headline, and you're going to hear me say this 1,000 times because a lot of people who write sales copy, they spend so much time focusing on on-page SEO, but they are not thinking about prior to the search engine, they are actually advertising to people, because the people is the first client and then the search engine is the second client. Because if what you're trying to say to them, the people don't understand it, then your conversion rate is not gonna be effective. And in chapter 3, we talked about understanding the psychology of the headline, because if you understand that, then I can say at this point, mentally, you have what you call a template. Because without the understanding of it, it's almost like saying you're trying to build a home on sand. And I often say, if you're trying to build a home on sand versus the rock, during a hurricane, you'd be in trouble. So it's very, very important to understand the psychology before you even write the copy on what you're trying to sell. And in chapter 4, we covered the headlines. The headlines, again, we give you a variety of headline examples, because without the understanding of it, you go to write the copy, and then you saying to yourself, why am I not converting the way you were expecting? It's because, again, the headline was not what it was supposed to be. And in chapter 4, we talked about the headline swap you can use. Now, it's important to also understand that you understand from 1 through 5 so far, the only thing that I've talked about is the headlines, because without the headline, your sales copy will crumble. So now that I've talked to you guys from chapter 1 to chapter 5, what I will do, I will scroll down and to show you guys what I've talked to you guys that I would show you in the first chapter, which is chapter 1. Now, I would not read the whole chapter to you guys so I don't bore you to death, but what I would do is at least kind of give you the first, I'll say 2-3 minutes into the first chapter. So here we go. I'll start reading the first chapter to you to have an idea what you'll be getting once you make up your mind that you're going to get this particular ebook. First matters. First, each part of your sales page is significant. One improper thing may totally make it not as effective. And so you need to make it a point that entire thing is solid. Very true. Having stated that, if you were to place me against a brick wall and inquire what the most significant portion of a sales page is, I would have to state the headline and subheadlines. In this chapter, I'm going to explain why, in the case of why you need to spend most of your time working at your headlines. And this is going to be the last one that I read out to you guys. Here we go. The beginning. in order to comprehend why the headline is so significant, you have to comprehend what's going on through the brain of your customer as they hit your sales page. Of course, they are going to be traveling to your sales page from assortment of places. But let's simply imagine they are coming from sort of pre-sales page. That pre-sale page, if it's doing its task, it's going to groom the customer by training them to expect to see something once they arrive at that page. Now, that's a teaser. I understand this is a teaser, but I also believe that if you are a writer, you could have even been a great writer. I believe that you have to constantly improve your skills, getting better, because as I said earlier in the video, copywriting is very lucrative, but in order to get to that part, you really have to understand it as so I hope this particular video has brought value to you, and if it did, do me a favor, scroll down and click on that link. Make sure you get your copy today. Thank you very much for watching the video. I appreciate it, guys, for the time, because I understand that time is important. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.